Let's play around with our example project a little bit and see how we can add new text to a page with HTML and change how it looks with CSS. Open up index.html and styles.css if you don't have them open already, and click the preview icon at the top right here so you can see what the project looks like in the browser. Let's start by personalizing this. First, we'll find Hello, I'm Jane in the HTML and change it to your name. And below that, change the hometown to your hometown. Now save the file, refresh, and you can see the changes we've made. Now let's experiment with some of these HTML tags and see what happens. Look again at this H1 element. An H1 tag is part of a set of HTML heading tags that are numbered from 1 to 6, 1 being for the most important text on your page, and 6 being for the smallest subheading. Each heading tag comes with some default CSS styles, and that controls how big the text appears. To see what I mean, change this tag to an H2 and see what happens. As you can see, the text gets a little smaller than when it was wrapped in an H1 tag. Now let's change this to a paragraph tag. And you can see it gets even smaller still. Let's put the H1 tag back so that everything goes back to normal and see what we can do with the CSS. Let's change the color of the yellow text in this hometown element to white. Look in the HTML document and find where it says, my hometown is, whatever you put here, and notice that it's wrapped in a paragraph tag. And on this tag, there's a class. As I said before, classes are one of the ways that we can tell our CSS, hey, this is the element that I want to style or format in some way. This element actually has two classes, tag and location. Let's look for the location class in the CSS. The basic idea behind CSS is fairly simple. Select the corresponding HTML elements or tags. Then between these brackets here, we call them curly braces, is where we put our style instructions. As you can see, the color property, which refers to the font color, is set to yellow. So to change the font color, delete yellow and type white. And the words are white. So it's just that easy to change the way something looks on your web page. Now let's do something even cooler. You see how when I hover over this main profile image, it kind of gets bigger and spins to the side a little bit? Looks a bit complicated, right? Well, it's actually really easy to mess around with. Let's change this so the effect is a little more extreme. Let's find it in our HTML, right here, and we can see that it has a class of profile image. So that's what we'll look for in the CSS. So here we have profile image and profile image hover. When you move a mouse over an HTML element and that element changes in some way, like when a word underlines or a hyperlink changes color, that's called a hover state, because this style only applies when you hover your mouse over the image. What makes the profile image rotate and get bigger is this CSS property right here, transform. Scale refers to how big it is, so it's set to grow 1.2 times bigger when you hover your mouse over it, and it's set to rotate 5 degrees. Let's go a little nuts here and change this number to 3. This will make the image get 3 times bigger when the mouse hovers over it, and make it spin all the way around, so 360 degrees. As you can see, that's a pretty extreme hover state. Just for fun, let's change this to 720 degrees and see if we can get it to spin around twice. And there you go. Now, this is pretty ridiculous, so I'm going to set it back so that it only gets 1.2 times larger. But I like it rotating 360 degrees, so I'll change it back to that. And there you go. I encourage you to keep playing with this. Plug in more numbers, see what happens. Have fun with it.